Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I am joined by Dr. Silva, long-term friend of the show, and a new guest, Priscilla Romans. Hello to both of you. How you doing? I'm going to start with ladies first. Priscilla, could you just let everybody know a quick bit about yourself, where you come from, your history?
Yeah, so a little bit about me. My name is Priscilla Romans, and I am a nurse. I have been a nurse for over 20 years. I've worked throughout the healthcare system in numerous operations, inside the hospital, outside the hospital, insurance, state governments, even the 9/11 work comp victims. So I've had a very large breadth of healthcare background, but my love is, of course, from the bedside. In the intensive care unit is where I started my original nursing. And throughout the healthcare system, I really believed in it for a long, long time. Everything that I was taught in my nursing school, throughout my education, the clinical setting, but then my eyes started to opening, questioning things about vaccines for my own kids, and going, wait a minute, why aren't we being told about vaccine injuries? What if my child's vaccine injured? What happens then? Who's liable for that? Why aren't we telling people all of their options? So, as a nurse and a mom, I really was getting more curious. And this was prior to 2020, but in March of 2020, God opened up the door for me, opening a patient advocacy service called Graith Care. And Graith Care is my two girls' names, Grace and Faith, put in one. And if you look up the word Graith, Graith, it means to prepare and make ready. So with Graith Care, I have a team of advocates and specialty advocates like Dr. Silva. And what we're doing is people are coming to us wanting to know all of their options, not just what the traditional doctors talk about, or not, or we're not just going to do things just because insurance says they can do this. We want to think about everything outside the box. So I started Graith Care in March of 2020. This is before the lockdowns, before the mandates, before we knew about remdesivir, before we knew about all of the COVID mandates that were coming. People go, well, why did you start it? And I said, well, I was working my corporate job. I just started helping people, and this is what happened. Well, I got so busy within that first year, I had to bring on other advocates on my team. And now we have a team of 30 advocates and specialty advocates on the Graith Care team. And we have clients in all 50 states and over 30 countries. And people come to us every single day asking questions. What do I do for my mom? She's super sick. The doctor isn't helping her. But one of the biggest questions that we're getting right now is, what do I do for my friend that was heavily vaccinated, had 4 or 5 shots, and I know they're sick? They keep going to the doctor. They're never getting better. What do I do for them? What do I do for my brother who has stage 4 cancer? I talked to this lady yesterday. She called. Her brother was vaccinated. Her brother has stage 4 colorectal cancer. Was going in for another procedure yesterday, and she just said, look, he's in his 40s and he's so sick and I don't know what to do. And I said, well, do you want alternatives? Do you want to know all options? And the number one question I asked her, I said, does your brother want to live? Well, she said, yeah, he wants to live. He's got kids. He's kids. And I said, all right, great. I think you need to talk to Dr. Silva. Dr. Silva is going to give you a protocol that traditional doctor, yes, from the largest institutions, the MD Andersons of the world, the Mayo Clinics of the world, they all have their protocol. However, their protocols, I know for sure, miss the mark because they don't tell these people all of their options, which in my opinion is not informed consent, and they're only making money off of the backs of insurance because each bag of chemo is expensive and not all of their options being provided to these people. It's wrong. They need to know about the benefits of ivermectin and fenbens and other great options, high dosing vitamin C, vitamin D, all of these things they need to know about. So me as a nurse, Me as a mom, these people deserve to know all of their options. So that's what we're doing at Grave Care. And if insurance isn't going to pay for it, guess what? We go figure it out. We go figure it out. If a person wants to live, we will help them figure it out. Trust me. So that's what I do. My team is the best of the best. We have clients right now in the last 2 weeks. We have one lady that came in May and actually saw Dr. Silva. He put her on the protocol. She lives in Minnesota, the state of Minnesota, so sick, had brain tumors. Well, her brain tumors are resolved. She's driving. The only reason she came to see us is because she wanted a last ditch effort to see if she could live long enough to see the grandbaby that was about ready to be born. Well, this woman is alive and well. She's driving. She's having a great time in life. So, Dr. Silva's protocols, I can attest to, they are working really, really well. So I'm super excited that we're both on this call. This is the first time we've actually done an interview together.
Exactly.
Well, all I can say, Priscilla, I can see the passion, the way you are talking. And Dr. Silva, you've sat there very patiently. Have you got anything else to add on that absolutely spectacular intro that Priscilla's done?
Sure. It's wonderful to be part of Brave Care. We really do everything we can to help out the patients. And I just want to say I'm a medical hematologist, oncologist, and internist. And we do not, well, I have nothing against traditional medicine. For instance, we can have, when it is correct, okay? I do have some things against traditional medicine. However, what the protocol that we have, the ivermectin, fenbendazole, mebendazole, etc., this works. It makes chemotherapy work better. It makes radiation therapy work better. There's a lot of things that we focus on the metabolism of the tumor to shut down the tumor, because it is at the end a metabolic disease. So we put all this together, and we're not the other extreme of like, oh no, don't do this, or oh no, don't do. We are here to overturn every stone available to help the patient.
Absolutely fantastic. And I'm just going to use this as the metaphor, the analogy. A car mechanic has every tool in his toolbox. He doesn't just turn up with one tool. He turns up with everything to fix a car. And what I don't understand is doctors are so scared to say anything that isn't on that computer screen or in that book that's in front of them. And I don't know why. Because I mean the Hippocratic oath that every doctor swears to, do no harm. Do no harm. But then
True.
if you're willingly holding back information from people that you know stands a chance of helping them, well then you're doing harm, aren't you? I don't understand this.
Yeah. Well, many physicians have been indoctrinated. Okay. So they have been indoctrinated not only just to listen to what comes from the CDC, the FDA, and the organizations that they belong to, they have been also indoctrinated not to listen to anything that doesn't come from here. That's why it was so difficult to try to convince people, hey, let's use hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin. They work, as opposed to remdesivir that has a 53% mortality. But, it was coming through the right channels, and then they were just following like sheep and leading their people, to the slaughterhouse. And this is this is what happened. People are indoctrinated, and it's very sad when you put in the factor of convenience, because I'm not going to lose my job. I'm going to be a good citizen regardless, and that's wrong. That's violating our oath to save lives and to do the best for our patients. Priscilla?
Well, well, Dr. Silva, I don't know if I've told you about this phone call I had this week. One of our clients actually called and said he went for his doctor's follow-up, and the doctor asked him, "Are you taking ivermectin?" And he said, "Yes." And the doctor proceeded to tell him that that was nothing but poison, use the word poison, and told him there was no science. So this client was like, why is this doctor lecturing me on this and telling me that I'm taking something poison when I know it's helped me. And, people want to convince these doctors, but I'm telling you, some of these doctors are so delusional. They are so far gone that there is nothing that is going to change their mind. I'm just being completely honest. There is no hope for some of these doctors. None. Okay. And what I tell people every single day is you got to arm yourself with the information and be empowered. You have to make decisions for you. That doctor in that white coat isn't the end all be all. You have to listen to what you need to do for your body. You need to know all of your options, then you make the decision. You don't just do something just because that doctor said, no, it's poison. Let's look at the information. Let's look why it got a Nobel Peace Prize. There's information that people are being blocked. They're being harassed by some of these doctors. And look, I use the traditional system when I need to use the traditional healthcare system. I use it, but I know how to use it and I'm not afraid. And that's what we want to teach people.
Yes.
What can you do to be in control of your healthcare decisions? And people are so scared. We should not live in fear. There is ways around it. Even with the worst of the worst cancer cases, we had a guy come, prostate cancer, stage 4, went to the bone and liver, and his PSA level, his prostate lab numbers was so high after doing the regimen of Dr. Silva's protocol, after weeks of doing it. He had a 12-fold decrease in that blood level. We have PET scans that have come back that show that the protocol is working, meaning the tumor is no longer growing or the bone is healing. The bone cancer is healing. So when I see these things as a nurse, I go, oh my God, we have not been telling people the truth for years. So this is an awakening that has to happen. And people need to stop hitting themselves, their head against the wall and saying, why won't my doctor listen? Why won't my doctor listen? Why won't my doctor prescribe me this? I'm just going to tell you, get your life together and get a patient advocate that can help you navigate the system and not be harassed by these doctors. I'm telling you, I've seen it over and over. We have thousands of clients, and I'm hearing this over and over and over. And the vaccinated, they're getting sick and they're not coming. They are completely indoctrinated. And I also believe that some of these people that have been vaccinated, those spike proteins have affected their brain. And they're mentally not clear enough to thinking straight. That's what I think. Dr. Silva, are you thinking we're having some brain issues due to these massive amounts of shots that were given to people?
Yeah. Even if they only got 2 shots, these were these mRNA shots like the Pfizer Moderna. These were the factories that got incorporated into their arm to produce the spike protein in continuation. I mean, we have data now of people that got 2 shots and 3 years and 3.2 years later, around 1,500 days after the shots, they're still producing the spike protein. The spike protein, which is lethal. I mean, we find it in the tumors. The spike protein has been isolated inside the tumors. In the brain, we know that the actual mRNA shot given to people wasn't the real messenger RNA. Because when you and I make RNA, messenger RNA, it circulates for 4 seconds. 4 seconds. Because the uracil becomes uridine, and uridine is degraded in 4 seconds. What they injected people with had pseudo uridine, which is not, period, not biodegradable. So you will be producing this for decades. So that's why the detox is so important. And getting back up to the point about the brain, one of the lies that was told is that it stays in your deltoid, it stays in your arm. We know that lipid nanoparticles were designed and invented to get chemotherapy into the brain. So we knew that 6 hours after the shot, It was in the brain. So any oncologist that studied the lipid nanoparticle process and why we use it for getting chemotherapy into the brain, we knew that it couldn't stay in the deltoid, that it would be in the brain in no time. So these are the effects that we're seeing. And as Priscilla was saying, it's been very sad that most of the patients coming forward are the unvaccinated because they were awake enough to know not to take the poison. But those who have taken the poison are not coming around. A lot of them are saying, well, it's been 4 years. I have this chronic cough, but they say it's an autoimmune condition. I got this skin lesions, or, my sister, my mom had this colon cancer. It's kind of funky, but that's genetics. Well, that's not true because there was no cancer in the family and things like that. So we're seeing very early, very aggressive cancers in young people, like 20-year-olds with colorectal cancer without family history, breast cancer, prostate cancer in young people, 18 and 20-year-olds, never seen before.
Yeah.
So this is what's going on because that spike protein has 6 mechanisms of causing cancer. Also autoimmune disease. Also infertility. 40 times. Infertility has gone up 40 times. That's not 40%. That's 4,000%.
Yeah, massive. I mean, we're talking about a massive depopulation agenda here. I truly believe that. And there is ways to combat this, what people need to know. But I want to be very, very specific here. You have to understand all of your options. Your traditional doctor is not going to tell you all your options. They're not even going to actually do all the things that they should be checking as well. We have doctors right now, patients that get diagnosed with cancer or think they have cancer. They're going to their doctor. Their doctor's not even ordering the right labs, the right genetics testing. They're not doing the correct test. They are not doing it timely. People are being blocked from their current insurance and having to switch from an HMO to a PPO to go to the right doctor or to get the right care. These are all the layers of issues that people are dealing with. So you've got to have a team of advocates to go to in order to combat it, because when you have a diagnosis like cancer or ALS or multiple sclerosis or Parkinson's or dementia, you need to have a team on your side that can help navigate these waters. And part of the reasons is not only just the vaccination issue of being vaccinated, but we've also got shedding. We've also got the toxins in our waters, in the skies. Now, people just think magically all of these things are going to get better with RFK. That is not true. We've got a lot of dirty cleanup that we have to do on the aisle number 11. Like, it is a massive cleanup that we have to do. And people can get all sorts of excited about the media splashes or about what Florida's doing. And I'm thankful for all of these things. I'm thankful that we have RFK in there. I'm thankful that we're cleaning out the CDC. But in the meantime, we have real people, real lives, sitting at the dinner table, crying because they're about ready to lose their life. And if they don't get it together and they don't call for help, we can't help them. They've got to call and they've got to get an appointment with Dr. Silva. He is so on it. He's got a team that knows the protocol. We put everything together for these people and we tell them specifically what to do and how to navigate. We don't care if the traditional doctor is not going to tell them all their options. We do. We don't hold back either, because your life is on the line if you don't start moving on it.
Oh yeah, Paul, we've been blessed enough not only to help people with Parkinson's, children with autisms, of course, the patients with cancer, but we've been able to help families with infertility, that we have detoxed them. And after the detox, after losing 3 babies, they got pregnant. Okay, so we have had great success in many things. And like Priscilla was saying, it's been a long battle of many years putting toxins into our body. So we need to detox. We need to play offense and defense. And we definitely need to detox. I detox every day. There are many things that we could do because I didn't take the shots, but the things are coming through the air, the water, the glyphosate in the food. Come on, how do you do that? How do you clean it? How do you avoid it? How do you know which one is organic and which one is not? How do you prevent from getting the seed oils? If you take vegetable oil, those seed oils are in your body for up to 3 years, poisoning your mitochondria. You can't get rid of them unless you detox. Okay, so there's so much to do, and it's very exciting because a lot of people could be helped. I also want to say sometimes, like Priscilla was saying, I've had a couple of patients that their doctor has told them, if you're taking ivermectin, I will no longer see you. So if sometimes it's better just to keep these things to yourselves, unless it's a very open physician that is willing to turn every stone available over for you. Because like Priscilla was saying, ivermectin did win the 2015 Nobel Prize of Medicine. And when people started speaking that it was a bad medicine, I was in shock. I had done 44 medical missions. I had used it every day on those missions. I had used it. I had given it to patients. My team had used it on themselves. Never a complication. And all of a sudden, I had to forget all my years of medical training because CNN said it's poison. Come on, you know, you can't forget what you've learned as a physician, a lifelong, like your vitamin D level. I remember being in a patient's room when CNN came on and said vitamin D is dangerous. Okay, so listen, I was like, what are you talking about? You need a vitamin D level of over 100. It controls 2,400 genes. Later on, autopsies showed that everyone who had, no one died who had a vitamin D level of over 50. That's all we needed.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to sit here and it's almost common sense. And I'm a big advocate for common sense. If it makes sense in a normal, rational mind, then it's probably right. When you go in there, and I'm only speaking from experience here, I sit down in the doctor's office, I tell him what's wrong with me. Straight away, he's like this on the computer. Right, you need this drug. That's it. There's no talking, as you said, about alternatives, about whether actually this. Have you ever thought about getting into the sunshine a bit more? Maybe that could help you when you're saying, oh, I'm so down and out and I've got no energy and all that. Get some sunshine. And I didn't realise how much sunshine affects us. We've had a spectacular summer here, and I can tell you now, everyone's a lot more happier when that sun's out. In the UK, we appreciate the sun. I'm not going to lie to you. Most people moan whether it's too hot or too cold. You can never please most people in the UK, honestly.
Yeah.
But having all the tools in your arsenal is crucial because, as you said, it's not like, right, you can't use this because that. Things work together to get the right result, which is keeping us alive. And, in our last interview, Dr. Silva, we talked a lot about ulterior ways to heal us and to have the wonderful Priscilla on as well now. I mean, the fact that you're telling us about people you have helped successfully. And I don't understand why doctors talking about ivermectin. Oh, you take ivermectin. I don't want to talk to you. Well, hang on a minute. If it's working, then by all means, I want to talk to you. I want to find out everything I can about it because that's the way. Doctors are always learning. It was what I was taught. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Well, you gotta also remember this has been happening for decades. Okay, so this isn't just like the last 5 years type of situation. Even prior to this, just talking about the medications like your statin medications. Statins are prescribed all the time. Every single day, statins are taken by millions and millions of people. Now, if you look at the side effects of statins, you would be shocked to see all the things that this actually does to people. Okay, and people can stop statins. They don't need to be taking statins, but we have doctors that won't even look at the information. They don't even look at they don't even take a look at the physician drug reference information. I provided it to doctors saying, here's what the person's side effect is. They're taking this medication. Can we talk about it? They're like, well, no, they have to be on it. Here's the reason why they're on it. It's because it meets a population health agenda. I've seen the scorecards in the healthcare systems. I worked in these systems. I saw the numbers. In the world of healthcare, it's a numbers game. It's a business model. And there is a population health agenda to this. It's not a conspiracy theory. What this means is they want the population to say, if you're over the age of 50, you should do these things. Now, it all sounds great, but it's not great when they try to streamline it as a one-sided system or a single payer type of system. We need all options. We need all options, and we don't need mandates. And when they put these little square boxes on the electronic medical record, on that computer they're staring at, and they go, oh, are you on a statin? Check. Have you gotten your vaccines? Check. Oh, your pneumonia's coming up? Check. They're doing these check boxes. It's not care. What they're doing is they're filling out policy type of criteria for a population health agenda that is largely pushed by the pharmaceutical industry and lobbyists. This is big time. We are fighting against one of the largest largest mechanisms in this healthcare system. It is literally a cartel. Okay, so this little baby business, Great Care, that is fighting for people on levels that I have stories that you would be shocked to as to what we do for people. We've flown people out of hospitals with sending a life flight crew to pick them up, and it had nothing to do with insurance. We did it because we needed to save their life. They were going to be dead in that hospital. So when we take it to the next level, we dial in to what we need to because we've got lives on the line. We've got kids that are at risk because they're not going to have their parents available if both parents die. And I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. This might sound like, whoa, this is really, no. We have families, I know multiple families that have had 5 to 8 people that have died in their family, and they were all vaccinated. Think about the destruction of the family that is happening worldwide. We are in crisis mode. So all the media splash about, RFK doing this and HHS doing this and CDC doing this, guess what? I don't got time for it. We don't got time to wait around for them to get their policy lives together. We have got real people's lives on the line that we need to help today.
What Priscilla just finished describing, it's a complete military system. It's a system that is militarized. Like those checks and boxes. Like when Joe Tippins came up with fenbendazole, was being treated at MD Anderson, when he got a complete cure, it's been 6 years by the grace of God, they didn't ask him, hey buddy, what are you doing? We're MD Anderson. We're here to save millions of lives. We're here to put a line through the word cancer. No, we can only do that if it comes from pharma. Okay?
Right.
Because what they told him was, listen, I don't believe in what you're doing, but don't stop doing it. But they didn't say, but what are you doing so we can save millions of lives? Because it's a military system. They can't step outside the lines because they lose their job and their funding. Okay? So, and the militarized system, the square boxes that Priscilla was talking about, has been going on for a long time. For instance, you give people seed oils. You substitute butter for margarine. You give them statins. And you give them a lot of sugar to eat. And what do you have? Alzheimer's. And now you give a shot that gets into their brain. Now you got Alzheimer's on steroids. But all of this is planned. But the statins, in the overwhelming 99.9% of the times, could be removed. What about the SSRIs? What about these depression drugs? These depression drugs, what they do is they maintain, or they try to maintain, at least they claim, to elevate your serotonin level. However, if you feed L-Reuteri, this gut probiotic to your body in a yogurt type fashion, like Dr. Davis says, this automatically brings up your oxytocin, your serotonin, and your dopamine. But wow, if that were to work, would that mean that 80% of the United States would go off that medicine? We can't have that. Okay?
Yeah.
So, but that's the truth. You secrete serotonin when you eat L-reuteri, L-gaceri, the subtilis, the infantis, all these great probiotics that have been wiped out by our diet, by non-steroidals, and by antibiotics. So we need to replenish our gut to rebuild our own immune system. And the GI tract is called the second brain because it connects to your brain through the vagus nerve. So all these benefits go up. Depression's gone. What a concept, you know? So there's so much that we can do to really help people. And thank God for Priscilla, really, that the Lord put this in your heart, and then you brought it forward to help so many. But people got to put their part. People got to say, hey, you know, I took 2 or 3 of these shots. It's kind of silly for me not even to check my spike protein levels. It's the bare minimum they can do. Forget about me. Just go do it on your own, buddy. It costs $73. Go get at Quest, LabCorp, any lab. Go check your levels. See if you're over 1,000. You know, right before you have
You
the
don't
heart
have to
attack.
have, you don't have to have a doctor. People call us about that all the time. My doctor won't order a vitamin D. My doctor won't order the spike protein. My doctor won't order magnesium. Well, guess what? We can help make sure that gets ordered for you. And
Sure.
there's a way we can do this. You're not alone in this. And before we got going on this, it's football season here in the US. And I was talking about that strategy. And there's a strategy to your health, right? You need to be the quarterback of your own health care decisions. Now, you can have a patient advocate that can have your tight end. We can help you get to the end zone, but you got to call and do your part, and we'll be glad to help you, win, be successful, build you up, build that immune system up, just like you need the defense of the quarterback. But just like Dr. Silva said, we've got to play both sides of the ball here when we're dealing especially with things like cancer. We got to play offense, we got to play defense. And if you have a doctor that is not in support of all options, we need to make sure you're very wise and strategic of how you proceed. There are things in the electronic medical record that you do not want to be written about you, something called non-compliance. These things don't end up being very friendly. Or if you say, oh, I don't want to do anything traditional, and the doctor writes that down, we have had literally patients coming to us going, well, my doctor won't do anything for me. We said, okay, well, what did you tell him? Well, I told him I didn't want to do anything traditional. Well, guess what? That traditional doctor just shut down. They stopped thinking, and they want to put you on hospice and palliative care. You're going to go to the other side if you don't get your life together. So people need to understand there's a strategy. There are certain key words to say to your doctor to get what you need to get done. You're not going to change their mind. You need a strategy. Just like here in the US, in football season, you need a strategy to win, to get to the end zone.
And you got to say the right words, just like Priscilla said. For instance, when my son was born and they walked in with a hepatitis B vaccine, instead of saying, no, that is criminal, it's full of aluminum, how can you do that? I just said, I'm going to give it to him with his pediatrician, thank you. So he doesn't get it here? No, with his pediatrician, thank you, we love you, you're beautiful. Okay, so no direct contact, because if you go head to head, it's a military system. You lose. You have to be smart, choose your words very wisely so you can navigate the system and win.
Wow. I couldn't agree more. And I feel like I haven't needed to really ask too many questions. You two have just absolutely bounced off each other. The only thing I can add to that is it's the same for the legal system, isn't it? If you don't know their terminology, if you don't know their ways, and you try to go up against them, they will destroy you. And you have to be clever. You cannot go screaming in there going, I don't want your chemo, I don't want your poison in a bag because I know this. Straight away, they're classifying you as a loony. All day
Yep.
long. All day long, they're going to classify you as. You need to go in there armed with the right terminology, with the right mindset, and you will get somewhere. You really will. It's when they think that you are either far right, far left, screw loose, is when they write you off. And it's
Yeah.
scary out there. It really is. And I can tell you right now, I'll never forget it when my mum was on her deathbed and I said, could this have been down to the vaccine? Straight away, no hesitation, the nurse went, nope, it happens to women of a certain age. They don't want to hear you out because they have pieces of paper that make them think they are the be all and know all of everything. I regret not fighting harder, but that's in the past now. I understand now, and that was my call to arms, to stand up and actually go, do you know what? This world is far bigger. There's far more things going on than we can possibly imagine. And it is absolutely honourable what you both are doing, which is giving somebody all the options. I mean, it's so simple, isn't it? Why wouldn't you
It
give
is.
somebody all the options? And you can show your rates of who you've helped with this, with who that. You've got the testimonies. It's not like you haven't helped people. You know, you've said throughout the whole interview the amount of people you have helped, and it's phenomenal. And you almost want to get all these people every day coming on going, they did this for me, when they wanted to pump me full of poisonous chemicals that will give me a half-life at best. And for those out there who don't understand what a half-life is yes, it will deal with the immediate problem, but it's created a massive problem down the road. I have had to go through 2 family members have cancer, one breast cancer, one it was a stomach cancer. Yes, the chemo helped them to get rid of the initial cancer, but it came back, it hit the bones, and none of them lasted more than 10 years. My family is not great with cancer, I'm not going to lie to you. But then when you look at some of their lifestyles, you can understand why. And I wish I knew now, back then, and offered the opportunities. I mean, and, you know, just my mum, you said right at the beginning about the vaccines. Well, I can tell you right now, my mum mixed 2 vaccines. Her and her cousin, inside of 12 months each, both had brain hemorrhages. Her cousin is in a wheelchair and struggled talking. My mum didn't survive it. So I can tell you right now, I know this system is hell-bent on not helping us the way it should be. It's about bottom lines, and dare I say it, if you believe in Agenda 2030, population control.
Well, depopulation. Yeah, and what you described with your mom and her sister is classic. It's the classic spike protein causing brain hemorrhages, myocarditis, blood clots, autoimmune conditions, cancer, and infertility. It's isolated. The toxic, lethal spike protein is isolated in breast milk. Think about how devious that is. Isolated in breast milk. Some babies had sudden death with breastfeeding.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think in years to come, there will be historians, medical historians, who will look back on the period we've just been through and gone, God, that was the dark ages of medical science, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because that is exactly how these things work when they look down the road. You know, infertility, autism. I mean, autism is on some madcap, skyrocketing thing. I mean, RFK said he's going to cut by the end of September. He's going to tell us exactly what's causing it.
Yeah.
I pray that we find out because it will be phenomenal. Dare I say it? I believe 250 odd vaccines before the child's 2 or 3. Probably got something to do with it.
It's less. But for instance, the number is still astronomical. It's full of aluminum, mercury, and toxins that have never been studied. Okay? And especially not studied, given together and in the same. So none of this has been studied. So it is really ridiculous. And then you look at populations like the Amish. They don't have any other problems that we have. None.
They don't.
Zero. Autism doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So but you speak to a traditional pediatrician, and he'll tell you, "Oh no, it's impossible. Don't even mention it." It's like, why? Why can't we talk about it? It's not political. It's medicine. Why can't we talk medicine? I remember at the height of the people dying, Professor Peter McCullough, Ryan Cole, and a bunch of other physicians called for public interviews, public debates on ABC, NBC, CBC. Okay, bring your experts and let's talk about it for the world. They were never given a chance.
No.
Never. But that's open. That's medicine. It's not political. It shouldn't be.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Paul, just remember that we are seeing a shifting. So me as a nurse that has woken up, I think that there are a handful of nurses and doctors that are opening their eyes. Even people, lay people are opening their eyes as well. They're trying to find their footing. They're trying to figure out how do they navigate this world. So I believe there is light and victory that will happen. I do know that there is going to be a large, massive amount of people that are going to die from not knowing the truth. I really I want to focus on the people that want help, that are ready for that next step, that want full healing in their life. And if they want that, then we can do that, because we do that every single day. And we're not going to let this controlled sick care system tell you this is how to do it. We're going to tell you this is how you do it using the traditional system if you need to use it. But here's also all of your options you can do right from your comfort of your own home. You don't got to fly anywhere. You can do this all from the comfort of your home, and we can figure it out together. So it's nice to be able to have somebody to really listen to as well. We find that the 15-minute office visits that doctors get paid for in the doctor's office isn't long enough to have these conversations and to really understand what does the person need. Because remember, they've made it a very sick care system. It's a very it's productivity based. It's not personal based. And we really need that personalized healthcare to come back. And we're going to do this. We're going to keep advocating for people regardless of what the healthcare system, regardless of what the CDC or FDA or whoever says. We are going to listen to what the patient needs, and we are going to help drive their healthcare forward. And we've got a lot of great stories. We've got so many great clients that we've been able to help and love on. And what's really cool is some people that are awake, they actually get help for their family member that isn't awake. So we can start to combat that together, because you know how families don't listen to each other that well. So we can be that voice of reason and really helping guide, take that pressure off the family member that's like pulling their hair out because they're afraid they're going to lose all of their family members. This is why you need to call and get help, so we can really get that person the right information so you can stop pulling your hair out. There is a way to do this, and we have lots of people that love our help and support for that.
Fantastic. Well, that brings us to the end of the interview today, and I'm going to let the wonderful Priscilla tell us where everybody can find both of you.
Yeah, super easy. Just go to graithcare.com. That's GRAITHcare.com. You can also call or text the number that is on the website. Make sure you subscribe to our free newsletter. I send out a newsletter every single week. That's free with information to keep everybody informed. But get Dr. Landy, get time with him. He will detox you. I've actually had him review my parents' medical records, and he's helping them with their own detox as well, which is great because my parents, of course, didn't listen to me very well, but they sure listened to Dr. Landy or Dr. Silva. I call him Landy, but Dr. Silva, they listen to because sometimes you just don't listen to your family that well.
Yeah.
So just call or text. Go to our graithcare.com. Our intake team will help you get started. They will help you get an appointment with Dr. Silva. He does virtual visits. We make this super convenient in the comfort of your own home, and we have an amazing team of advocates.
Brilliant. Well, we're going to put their link down below in the description, but thank you again, Dr. Silva, and thank you, Priscilla. Hopefully we can have you on again very soon.
Yes,
Pleasure.
thank you
God
so
bless
much.
you.
Take care, everyone. Bye now.
Bye-bye. Thank you.